mates.
This is something I believe we were touching upon earlier. Different ship sizes in terms of crew is something that I believe the core development team wants to toy with a lot more during adventure mode, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. How we're thinking about it right now is 4 players on a ship is balanced in some manner. Maybe it's not the best, maybe it's really good, but it's somewhere to start. So actually recently we're thinking, it's like, oh, should we even think about it for co-op mode? And it's like, well, maybe. First, let's see how everything works with the ships that we have now, with the players on board that we have now, because that's known, and just see how the new stuff works with it.
Oh, god damn
And
it.
from there, we can actually start.
Keep going. I've just broken things just a little. I started clicking things and things have gone wrong. Just keep talking.
Yeah, okay, so what was I saying? So, if things go nicely there and it's not too much work to introduce the new things in a balanced manner, then sure, we'll start poking around at other than 4 crews mates on board a ship. But for adventure mode, that's pretty far out still. So I would say, yeah, totally. I'd love to see, I don't know, 2-person crew or 8-person crew. Who knows?
Cool.
2-person crew. Huh. This one's kind of challenging to think about.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I'll fly. You do everything else.
Yep.
I fly the Spire basically without engineers, because I say just keep firing, and if we get hit, we'll probably die, so...
Yeah. Well, you'd have to probably build a ship around a different set of specifications for that, like maybe a single engine craft. Who knows? Something very small.
They'll need at least 2 engines.
Well, yeah, and if you run a Manticore-like gun on it, then, you have a lot of downtime between shots.
True.
Alright, why is the game not coming to Xbox One?
You're going to have to ask Microsoft on that one.
Ooh.
Seriously, you should go email them and ask why we can't be on Xbox One. Because we'd love to. After our PS4 exclusivity ends, sure, we'd love to publish as many places as we can. That's more money in our pockets, right? But
Yeah.
If you're allowed to talk about this, I actually have a question
Got
regarding the
$20
exclusivity.
in my pocket. Sorry, continue.
Why am I looking
Yeah.
off to the side? He's not over there. But with regards to exclusivity, is that the sort of thing that they just had you sign on for? Like, hey, we will release your game as a launch title on our platform, and you just agree to be exclusive to us for a while. Is that how it goes? Or
yeah, it's pretty standard for console releases nowadays, is that, of course, they'll want you on their platform for at least a couple of months before you go anywhere else. But, of course, if you're one of the studios tied to Microsoft or Sony, then you're just console exclusive, period. You don't go anywhere else.
right.
All right. Is there a possible chance for Steam Workshop and private servers using Workshop content?
Workshop is something that we're entertaining right now. Basically, we just need to come out with the proper workflow and the documentation to actually, give everyone, so they create assets that we can actually use. The one really hard part is that Workshop doesn't provide uploader tools, which is kind of silly to me.
Yeah.
We have to do our own interface for everyone to give us their assets. So that's actually the grunt work there. Otherwise, we would have had Workshop in a long time ago. Right now, it's just kind of low priority.
Yeah.
Servers, player-run servers. We've talked about it, and we're trying to, not necessarily in that direction, but we're trying to, take more control over our own servers in general. So in that sense, it's like, yeah, it's possible we could allow people to install their own stuff, but how will that work with Workshop? I have no idea.
Yeah. Something I've been trying to do recently is, and don't hate me for this, I've been trying to pull the resources into Unity, which doesn't work, by the way. I've been trying my damn this.
Nope.
But it just doesn't work because I want to make maps and just submit it and be like, look, this is just take it, just take it. It's a map.
Nope.
There you are. And yeah, it just doesn't work. I'm so depressed. I spent like 8 hours trying to get the files into Unity, and it's like, nope.
Yeah, I mean,
Nope.
don't even try. Everything's compiled down. We have
Yeah.
all these crazy DLLs. Our code is obfuscated for, obvious reasons. And yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, just single tier. I was there like, oh damn it all.
Man, you should have asked us if you actually want to take a look and try to create some maps. I don't know. Like the thing is, like,
Yes.
map design. Hear me out on this. Map design for us is actually really hard because we have
Optimization?
no, it's not optimization. It's actually just making the maps themselves.
It takes time.
We have. Well, I mean, like designing the general flow of it is relatively easy, but the time-consuming part is the set dressing. We don't have any kind of editor support or a really nice package like that Valve has for their games. Hammer,
No prefabs.
map editor. We do have prefabs, but everything is still placed into the scene by hand for every single map. So it takes the artist. Like I will go in and choose a piece of terrain, and the artist will put some stuff in, and maybe I'll put some like what we call gray or white boxing. I'll put some cubes in just to represent, oh, there's a wall, there's a building here, or whatever. Then the artist will go in and fill in those spaces with actual nice-looking assets. I'll go fly around it, just try to get what the feel is, and I give them okay, and they'll start doing heavy set dressing, and that can take weeks.
Yeah.
So it's pretty hard, and this is something that we're actually actively looking into, is because in co-op and adventure mode we'll need a lot more maps. We're trying to build a system where we can at least dynamically generate some of that content for us. So we at least either it'll generate like a huge list of maps for us in-house, and we can just go through and I can look at them and try flying around and see what they're like and screen them beforehand. Or even better is the system just generates a map at random at runtime, and you play that map live in the game.
Yeah.
Procedural map generation like that's been kind of a holy grail for video games for a while now, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, so I don't.
So
think
good
we're
luck.
ever gonna
Good luck.
Get there. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're ever going to get there. So the first idea is just at least to create a bunch of stuff that I can look at in the office, and I can screen that.
Cool. Well, hit me up. Well, I'll continue pestering you about that then.
I mean, if anyone wants to draw a map on paper, like literally drawing maps on paper is very good.
Yeah.
It's very easy. It's very fast. Go ahead and draw a map. No problems against it.
All right, and then there was a question because we just posted on Facebook about the seasonal hats that are being worked on. So, is there going to be seasonal hats? And yes, I mean there was. If you were here last year, there was the mask, which you rarely see anymore. People using.
Because it looks terrible.
What?
Oh, it looks. I love it. It just
The
has to be used with
Halloween
the right
mask?
costume. Yeah.
The pumpkin mask?
I hate it.
No, not the pumpkin
No,
mask.
the
Wait,
Frankenstein.
pumpkin mask.
Pumpkin mask.
Wait,
Did
the
you just tip
Frankenstein.
your cup again?
No. It just looks like a pumpkin. No, it's a skull mask, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
the
don't
skull
know.
mask.
Yeah.
It's a red skull.
The Red Death.
Yeah, the Red Death, right. Not a pumpkin.
No, death, not pumpkin.
The red pumpkin?
Yeah.
I just remember it being
I'm
orange.
really afraid of your Halloweens now. Like, what happened as a kid?
I have no idea. I don't remember any of it. It's that
Just
traumatic.
horrible flashbacks. All right. And I think we touched on this earlier, but I want to make sure it gets answered. Were we approached by Sony, or did you approach them? And it was them reaching out to a bunch of indies, correct?
We've been in talks with Sony for a while already. So we were just already in conversations about PS3 in the past, and we just, had a pretty good relationship with them. And they were like, hey, PS4, man.
That's the thing. It's coming.
Alright, what do you want? You want to be on it? It's cool. It's nice. Okay, I'm sure, whatever. I don't know. Well, no, I mean, it's, we've we've been talking to them for a while now about all kinds of different things. So it just grew from that. It's just a good relationship. They're really nice people to work with, and it's awesome that they gave us the opportunity to be on PS4. So
Yeah.
All right, and then there was a question about clans in co-op mode and adventure mode. Basically, it would when the clan system gets upgraded, are there going to be any special perks for like flying in a clan all together for a mission in co-op?
Yeah, not entirely sure because that whole system hasn't even been built out yet. There could be some perks, but in general, I think this is a good segue to talk about team stacking. Of course, because clans like to fly with each other, and they're really good, and it makes it hard for newer players to play against them. And the question was, how do we prevent team stacking? No, that's actually the really wrong way to approach it. It's how do we facilitate everyone to team stack, to actually play the game as we imagine people playing it. Teamwork, right?
Yeah.
So
Last thing you want to do is
future,
punish people for getting together and playing the game like it's supposed to be played, you know?
Exactly. So, even before we get into co-op mode, is that hopefully soon we'll come up with an idea or plan to facilitate team stacking throughout the entire game better. So you'll always be a stacked team of your own playing against another stacked team. We have a couple different ideas. We're not sure what's best or what's the first one we want to test, but hopefully we can get that in for skirmish and then build it out for co-op and the rest of the expansions that we're planning on. As far as adventure mode goes, the example that I've always used is that, let's say, you have a bunch of people in the Yesha Empire, the faction, and there's some event where the players need to vote on something. Well, there can be clans and guilds within a faction, right? They're just players, and players can form smaller groups within a faction. So if a major faction within the Yesha Empire wants to say yes to something, but all the other players who are unaffiliated with each other, it's like, no, I don't like that idea. They could form temporary alliances like unions or something like that and vote against that clan within the same faction. So it's kind of interesting. You get, a very dynamic political system, to take
and
the
of course,
US,
player defined.
Right, exactly. And, to take the U.S. government as an example, like recently the U.S. government shut down, because of
Just in case you haven't heard.
Yeah, between the Republican and the Democratic parties. So this is something that we're trying to build into the system where these kinds of disagreements within one single faction can occur, which we think is really cool.
Wow, I just have to say that you're probably the only person in all of this that took a look at the shutdown and said, not a bad idea.
I was going to say, our new tagline will be Guns of Icarus Adventure Mode, all the fun of the U.S. Congress.
Get it now,
all the fun of the U.S.
DLC.
Congress and all the violence of Parliament. Brilliant.
I want to just give a shout out to Sean because he said hello all, cool video. So hello, cool Sean, I like you now.
Okay, we've fallen a little bit behind, so let's try to shoot through some questions quickly. How's it like deving for the PS4? Did you have to change Guns of Icarus's code to handle the extra CPUs due to the weakness of its CPU cores, or leverage it more on the GPU side?
I have no idea.
Okay, yeah, I didn't figure you'd be the person.
We use Unity 3D. Unity is working very, very hard to finish their PS4 support, and until we get that, and until we get a dev kit from Sony, we have no idea. But we're hoping, as our experience with Unity is, we just press a button, and it'll run on the PS4.
It's lit.
Again,
No, go.
Like the game, we target really, really low end machines. Like, you can run this game low, you turn everything down, of course. You got a 3 or 4 year old machine, you could probably run and play it.
I just like to toss out an anecdote here. There's a time where my graphics card was malfunctioning. I was able to play this game on the integrated graphics processor on my motherboard. Just give you an idea as to how low the specs for this can be.
Yeah. So, I mean, whatever specs the PS4 has, you can run this game on the highest settings, and we won't even be close to killing making the PS4 break a sweat. And
Yep.
will we ever get to that point? Not in the near future. We only got like 5 full-time artists here.
Yeah.
So you think about the AAA people who are actually taking advantage of the PS4, like, performance stuff. Man, they have hundreds of artists.
Yep.
So just to put in